Hey everybody, it's the interview queen Alicia Atout here, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to interview round two with Lio Rush. Hi,
What's up, Alicia? How you doing?
I'm good. It's been a minute since I've had you on, 3 full years. So I feel like the appropriate question is, how are you?
I am doing a lot better than I thought I was going to be doing this year. Yeah, it's been one hell of a journey. So I'm feeling pretty good.
We're definitely going to dive into some of those aspects of the journey. But the first thing I do want to really ask about is the fact that I know so many people were going so stir crazy, not being able to do our thing when it comes to being in the world of wrestling. So, how amazing for you does it feel back, or does it feel to kind of be back and be back out there doing your thing? Because we were put on pause for months.
Yeah, it's obviously a really crazy thing. What's going on in the world right now with the pandemic, and a lot of the wrestling culture has changed, in the way things are done as far as like shows and all the safety protocols and they're not being able to be fans. I know like there's certain state restrictions with the amount of people that are allowed in buildings, but some shows you'll have you know up to 50 people, and then some shows you'll have no people at all. So
Right.
it's really crazy. I'm glad that I'm back in the ring, though. I'm glad that I'm able to do what I love and have been wanting to do since I was 5 years old. And even with the pandemic and all of the crazy adjustments that we all have to go through, I kind of enjoy not wrestling in front of people. I feel like in a sense it's making me better a little bit in the ring. So
I feel like because you can't really depend off of something else, a lot of wrestlers are actually finding that, or that's what they've been telling me. Like you don't have the people to cheer you on. It really just does come down straight to the wrestling. So that's what people have to
yeah,
focus on. So it's interesting to hear that you feel like it's kind of made you better in that sense.
yeah, for sure. I feel like it has.
Well, other than the wrestling that's been keeping you busy, you are actually doing some really cool stuff as you're soon going to be on a MTV show as a part of the challenge. So you've said how the season has been nuts and you are a big reason for that. So what has the experience been like? Because that show is absolutely insane.
Yeah, that is definitely something that I wasn't expecting to be a part of this year. Obviously getting released from the WWE and not really knowing what my future looked like. I kind of put in my head that I wanted to get away from wrestling. Um, and that's what I did for at least a little bit, and then I got approached with the opportunity to be on the challenge for MTV, and I was blown away. I felt so. I don't know. I just felt like somebody was looking after me, because as devastating as that was being released, and not knowing what I was going to do, and then an opportunity to like that, just gets presented to me, and for it to be on TV and a different network, possibly like an even bigger network, um, that was huge. It was fun. It was a crazy experience. Definitely did some things that I would probably never do in my
Right.
daily life, but no, it was fun.
Well, I know myself, along with fans, we're definitely psyched to see what they made you do because some of the challenges, even in the trailer, I'm like, yeah, no way I would do that. You gotta have. So no, I'm super psyched about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And of course, it's been cool to also see you pop up over the last few months in different promotions. And in very recent news, you are officially a part of MLW's roster. You're going to be a part of the restart of my home promotion. It was super cool seeing you there. So, how's it been for you just being with the company, and how excited are you for the restart? Because it is very shortly on the horizon.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. MLW is a place where I wanted to work for quite some time now, with my good mutual friend of Court Bauer. I know that we have a mutual friend with Wale, and ever since the Wale Manias, Court's always been wanting me to be a part of NLW. Obviously, that wasn't a possibility with me being signed to the WWE, but as soon as that release happened, he had reached out to me. made it known that he wanted to work with me in the future, even if it wasn't, right away. Um, and it's been one hell of an experience. You don't find too many places out there outside of WWE that are as professional as MLW is, and the amount of talent there is absolutely unreal. So super stoked for the restart. Really excited to be a part of the roster, and I'm ready for it to to air so the world can see, what I've been up to.
Feel like we're all just waiting. We're about 24 hours out now. Once this is released, everyone will be able to watch the restart. But it was just so cool seeing so many new names. We have a revamped roster with you being a part of it. And you mentioned the fantastic talent that we do have in our locker room. So, being that there is so many people to face in the future and kind of score up with, is there anyone in specific that you maybe have wrestled within other companies or that you would just love to go toe to toe with while with the brand?
Yeah, for sure. That roster is stacked. I recently came out with a little list of people that I wanted to wrestle, and there's a few names on that list that are a part of NOW. Guys like Jordan Oliver, Myron Reed. Um, ACH was on my list, but I remember that I wrestled him um, before I got to NLW. So yeah, there's tons of people, even low key. I've been wanting to wrestle him for the longest time. I think that that's a matchup that not a lot of people think about,
Right.
but if it were to get announced, I think people would be pretty excited. So yeah, tons of matchups, and I'm looking forward to working with all those guys. Hopefully.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I'm excited to see what can happen. There's so many different matchups we can have. And the great thing about MLW fans is that they absolutely eat up anything that's kind of thrown their way in the best of ways. So we're all really excited for that. And just speaking to people kind of eating up things within wrestling, fans will not only get to see you wrestle within MLW, but also the New Japan Pro Wrestling Super J Cup, which is just massive. So when you kind of got the call for that to compete, I can see almost like tensing up in excitement there because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
huge. It
yeah.
really is huge. When you got that call, what was running through your mind? Because so many people, their goal is to wrestle for that company. So for you, must have been pretty thrilling.
Yeah, that was massive for anybody, and I believe I spoke to you about it, in our first interview.
Yep.
But for anybody that has followed my career since I started, New Japan was up there for me. Probably more excited to be a part of New Japan than I was to be signed to WWE. To be honest, you know, I just love um, I love the culture. I love the fans. They respect the art of wrestling so much. Even the wrestlers themselves, I feel like they take their craft a lot more seriously when it comes to um, the sport and art of professional wrestling and combat, which is combat sport. So I'm super excited to be a part of New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm excited to show uh, the fans that already know me a more aggressive side to Lio Rush, a more technical side to Lio Rush. And I'm excited to wrestle in front of an entirely new fan base of a Japanese audience. So yeah, words, just aren't enough to explain how excited I am.
Well, congratulations once again. It's huge.
Thank you.
Of course. Well, we've definitely covered the wrestling side of things because I feel like going into this interview, I'm like, there's so much to talk about on the wrestling front. But then there's a whole other side of you that we have to get into. And that is that you were super passionate about music. And a few months ago, you even dropped a record called Ever After. There's a brand new single called Do You Remember? So, how long have you actually been writing music for?
So music, I've been writing for maybe about 3 years now, but I've always uh, written poetry. when I was younger in my teenage years. I would write poetry all the time, even if I thought it sucked. I remember like you know, being up in the middle of the night. My mom would have like sleeping troubles, so she would always just be walking around the house and like hanging out in the kitchen and stuff. So I remember like writing a poem and like going out, you know, in the kitchen and asking my mom if this was good and stuff like that. I've always been a fan of just like writing and putting my thoughts to paper and just expressing myself in a way that I feel like is a little more difficult um, than expressing myself like verbally, just by talking. So, that love and passion that I've had for writing has always been.
Do you happen to remember the first song that you ever wrote? Or
Uh,
even like part of the first poem that you decided to? Oh, you look like you just like had a little cringe going on there.
yeah, I don't. So I don't remember the first poem that I
Okay.
wrote. I wish that I did. Um, Man, but I definitely do remember the first song.
Ooh,
And
okay.
I don't remember. Okay, so don't get too excited because I don't remember the lyrics, but I do remember it being so embarrassing. It was extremely embarrassing.
What was it
And
about?
it was just me being a teenager and trying to be a rapper, which
So the
is,
embarrassing part wasn't the content, it was just the overall like attempt of you being
oh
and
yeah.
trying something new.
Yeah, like playing a beat on my laptop and just like recording the audio through like the mic on the computer. Like it was just horrible. Really bad. Like the delivery was bad. Everything about it was
Is it still out there? Like, is this something people could
bad.
deep dive and find, or is that a dangerous territory?
It's probably a very dangerous territory. One of my friends probably still has the song somewhere. Maybe if I grow some balls, I'll put it out one day.
I'll have to keep an eye out for it for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, of course, a lot of people like asking you about your dream match, but what I'm curious about is that dream musical collab. Who is someone you would love to write a song with one day? And like, sky's the limit here.
Oh my goodness. Um, I feel like I always say this, and it's always weird because um, a lot of people just wouldn't expect me to say this at all. But I watched a documentary a couple of years ago. I want to say maybe like less than 2 years ago, and I feel like it really uh, gave me a different perspective on this person and a much deeper like respect for their artistry. And I would definitely say Taylor Swift.
I did
I would
not see that
love,
coming.
yeah. I would love to like write a song with her.
Huh.
Like her writing process is very interesting to me, and it's like I don't know. I don't like to pinpoint one specific person just because I have a great respect for anybody
Of
who
course.
who puts their heart and soul into anything that they're writing and stuff like that, and they're successful at it. Um, but watching, I don't watch too many documentaries, but I watched that documentary on Taylor Swift and listening to her story and seeing her take traumatic uh, situations that has happened in her life and turn those into records. I thought that was really cool, and just seeing her, start from scratch, just like completely, and have like a pianist there and or like a guitarist, and it was just really cool.
I could think like I think that would be really interesting. It would not be something I'd ever expect, but at the same time, like how cool would that be?
Yeah. It would be really cool.
Well, the last thing I want to ask you about is kind of bringing it back to that first interview we did together 3 years ago. We really kind of talked about tattoos and the first tattoo you ever got. So to spin it around, what is the last tattoo that you ended up getting?
Oh, okay. I don't know if I can show you, but it's on my leg. I have on these
Okay.
tight, skinny jeans right now. Um, But yeah, I just started on my leg, which is part of the reason why I'm wearing tights now and not trunks because
Gotcha.
I don't want to reveal it until
The
it's
whole
all
piece
done.
has to be finished, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I started on my leg with, and this is gonna sound very silly, but I've started to get animals that I am absolutely afraid of, like
Huh.
so scared. Yeah, and I'm starting to the top of my thigh. I'm starting with like water animals, and then the further down it goes, it'll start to get a little more fantasy like
Okay.
with like creatures and stuff like that. So
Oh, that's neat.
yeah, one of my biggest fears is like what lives under the water, like what lives in the water. Like I hate that.
You can't
Like
see it.
just
It's I get it.
yeah, just I just don't like it, and I got traumatized. I went to my family's from Antigua, and I recently, well, not recently, but the last big trip that I went on was a trip to Antigua, and I went snorkeling in a reef, and
I can just
I was
imagine where this is going.
yeah, I was just like like coral reef, like it was very shallow. You don't think anything of it, and then so I was like swimming with my head over top of the water. My wife was there. Her head was underneath the water, and she picked her head up and said, "Whatever you, whatever you do, don't
Don't
look
look below.
down."
Oh no.
And I was like, "Oh my goodness." And I put my head under the water
Oh, you didn't
and
listen to
literally
your wife. No.
the biggest, like when I tell you that it was nothing, it was just straight where I was swimming, and then it just dropped, and it was just pitch black. I couldn't see anything.
That's
I freaked.
terrifying.
Yeah, so terrifying. I freaked out. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So is I guess the point of getting everything like in order to conquer fears, or is it a reminder of something? Like to have everything you're kind of scared of on your, to fill a whole leg up, you must be scared of like quite a few animals.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I definitely am. But shit, I probably shouldn't have said that because somebody's gonna bring an animal to me one day, and I'm gonna
Oh,
freak out.
that'd be awful.
Yeah, but I think it's more. Yeah, I think it's about conquering certain fears and stuff like that. If it's on me, I'm like constantly looking at it, so maybe I won't be afraid of it. When I when I
Right.
do come in contact with it. I don't know. That's probably very stupid, but
Well,
whatever.
I hope it helps you on this journey of, you know, animal healing and
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean,
so
I love animals. I just don't like the unpredictability of some.
oh, no, I get it.
Yeah,
I love that. I would have never expected that. Very cool little tidbit. Well, I want to say
yeah,
thank you so much for taking the time coming on here. I know how busy you've been, so I'm really psyched we're able to catch up. I'll be seeing more of you at MLW, which is fantastic. So just thank you a ton.
definitely. Thank you so much.
Of course, to everyone watching, this has been Lio Rush, and be sure to check out our first interview and check out aliciatout.com for even more exclusive interviews and features. We'll see you all next time, everyone. Bye.